Here we go. The hushed murmur of excitement threatened to pour over. It poured into my ears and made my head buzz as we made our way to our seats facing the ominous velvet curtain. The rhythm of quaint music acted as an undertone strong enough that if you were to close your eyes, you'd just as well believe you were taking the world's largest elevator ride. An auditorium of 400 made up the multi-million-dollar theater in my high school. I'd never seen one of the highly esteemed department's productions. However, I had ironically frequently been on the other side of the curtain. Until tonight. Since 7th grade, I've been part of a local dance company that performed throughout the community and ultimately put together an elaborate show each spring on this very stage. If I focused too long on the marley floor peeking out from underneath the velvet, I would be transported there again. The blood blisters, the sweat pools, the tears streaming. I could still feel it all. Just as potently could I remember the feeling of my heart as it expanded under the lights, and the wings that set me free as I took off across the dance floor. It all ended too soon when I fell severely ill just before my sophomore year. After 10 months of doctor visits and health scares, I finally found my answer. Lyme disease. I went from training 13 hours a week to being bedridden for my entire summer after my sophomore year. In the fall, I was too weak to continue training and fell into a hopeless pit of despair. My entire identity as one of the most highly esteemed dancers at my studio was gone. I was sure that dance was my calling and that nothing could ever change that. Nothing could ever get in the way. I was at a loss, suffocated by hurt and confusion that I feel could never be lifted, especially with no outlet of expression. When I was invited to see a production in the same theater that I so cherished, my initial answer was a passionate no. I thought I couldn't bear the idea of seeing the same space, knowing that I indefinitely couldn't perform on it. However, I realized that maybe this was a time to find humility and open my heart to appreciating the talents of others. During the production, I found myself deeply touched and inspired, insomuch that I ended up spending the next month and a half preparing to audition for the next play, Romeo and Juliet. This process further humbled me, as I realized I knew nothing about acting. I was so focused on my dance skills that I completely ignored it as an outlet. This, I thought, could be the perfect opportunity to fulfill my performing needs and to let out my emotions in a healthy way. When the week of auditions came, I attended only knowing 2 of the 45 kids. I also took note of the fact that the majority of the kids attending were all veterans of the theater department's programs, and were, to me, infinitely more adept and well prepared. However, I learned to set my ego aside and try to learn them from them. After an emotional week, the cast list was posted, with Wouldn't You Know It, Alyssa Darling as Juliet Capulet. If I hadn't gotten out of my comfort zone and rather than wallowing in my misery pushed to expand my horizons, I never would have had this opportunity. Just because one door to a chapter of our life closes doesn't mean there aren't an infinite number of doors just waiting to be opened. While letting go and moving on can be incredibly painful and trying of our patience, our trust in the process and dedication to making the most of it will make the most of it.